To achieve this super dope, super clean, beautiful double-faced top, stay through to the end of this video. Now in this tutorial, I'll show you how I made this top in such a way that you can wear the zipper part in front and it will sit comfortably, and you can also wear it at the back and it will relax comfortably. Welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is yaaaaaay. I teach ladies how to make beautiful, amazing dresses. For this tutorial, you will need about 1.5 yard of fabric. Okay, for that top you need 1.5 yard of fabric. I will be drafting on the pattern paper so you see clearly everything I'm doing. You can cut directly on your fabric if you want to. Now I'll fold my pattern paper into 2 equal parts. This tutorial is very easy, I just had to mention. Yeah, so after folding it into 2 equal parts, the next thing I want to go in with is my start line, which will also serve as my shoulder line. Now on the center you folded, place your tape, go in by 1 inch. This 1 inch will serve as our zipper allowance. I'll roll across that 1 inch and that will be what? Our zipper allowance. Now you are free to make your zipper allowance up to like 1.5 or 2 inches, okay? But I'll be sewing inside like inseam finishing, so there's no need for so much allowance. So 1 inch is okay for the zipper. Now for the neckline on that area that has a zipper is a V-neck. So we are going in by 3 inches on the wideness and then 7 inches for the depth. Connect from that 3 inches to the 7 inches and that will give you your V-neck. Now I'm just gonna fold the zipper allowance in. This is totally optional. I just do this because I am used to doing this. I have no reason, okay? So I'll fold in the zipper allowance so that I can understand my pattern paper. Place your tape from the center of your paper again. Go in by half of your shoulder measurement. Shoulder is 17, divided by half is 8.5 and I marked it. Go down by 1 inch on that point you marked your shoulder. Connect from that 1 inch you marked to your neckline, and that will serve as your shoulder. So place your tape on the shoulder line. Go in by your shoulder to bust point, which is 11.5 inches for me, and then shoulder to waist line, which is 16.5 inches, and then shoulder to hip, which is 23 inches for me. I'll roll across those dots and that will be my bust line, waistline and hip line respectively. Now take your tape roll back to the shoulder line. We'll go in by 8 inches and that will be my chest line. Okay, now from that shoulder slope, connect to the chest line. Find the midpoint from that shoulder slope to your chest line. On that midpoint, go in by half an inch. Now move to your chest line. Mark the quarter of your bust measurement. So the bust I'm working with is 36 divided by 4 is 9 plus 1 inch sewing allowance 10, and I marked 10. Now we'll connect from that 10 all the way to the midpoint that we just marked as well, all the way to the shoulder line, and this will be our armhole. Now the next thing to do is to start marking our circumference measurement. Now for the bust is 36. I will divide by 4. 36 by 4 is 9 inches. 9 inches plus 1 inch for sewing allowance. Now mark that. Now on the waistline, the waist is 28 inches. Divide by 4, that will give me 7 plus 1 inch sewing allowance. I have 8 and I've marked it. Now the hip we're working with is hip 40. Divide by 4, that will give you 10. 10 plus 1 inch sewing allowance, mark 11. Now connect all the dots from the chest line all the way to the hip line. Now this is what our top looks like at the moment. I'll simply unfold the zipper allowance, go to the waistline. On the center of the waistline, go in by 1 inch. Now I'll take my tape again to the shoulder line. Place your tape from the center of your paper, okay? Go in by 24 inches. After sewing, it should be 24 inches, but we'll add sewing allowance and that will mean we'll mark 25. Now after marking that 25, we will simply connect that 25 to that 1 inch we marked on the waistline. Notice where I placed my tape on that shoulder line, right? Now I'll get my ruler and I'll connect from that point all the way to that 25 inches like so. Okay, now we'll place our tape rule from the shoulder line on the side of our top. We'll go in by 21 inches, we'll mark it and then connect it back to the center of the basque. This is our new line, okay? The first line was too long for the side. Now this part of our top is pretty much ready. For the other part, that part where we had the long flap, that's what we're about to create. Now just like before, we'll place our tape on the shoulder line. Since this part of the flap will be very long, we're going in by 33 inches. Now we'll add 1 inch also in allowance, so that'll be 34. We'll mark 34 right there. I hope we are following. Now we'll connect from that 34 to the center and to this side. But before we connect it to this side, we'll also reduce. Place your tape from the shoulder line and go in by 21 inch just like we did earlier. Then place your tape on the waistline like before, go down by 1 inch. Now after marking that 1 inch, connect all 3 dots like so. So you guys, this is pretty much it about the front piece. Let's just call it the front, but we know there's no front and there's no back. So this is the first side and then that was the other side. You guys, the trick to doing this, let me say it at this point, you have to use a fabric that is stretchy, okay? You cannot do this pattern with your Ankara. It may work for you if you are not busty, but if you are busty, you can't use this pattern on Ankara. The fabric has to be stretchy. Mine was slightly stretchy and I am not so busty, so it worked for me. This right here is the result for the first half. You can call it your front piece or your back piece but just know that the area that has zipper, we are done with it. So we'll go ahead to cutting out. Follow me. Make sure that you do not cut with your paper folded. If you cut with your paper folded, then you have to be very careful not to cut the other part. That's it guys, this is the pattern paper for the other side. Let's just call it the back. So you go in with your shoulder line, go in with your bust line, your waistline and then your hip line. For the neck, you'll be using the wideness of 3 inches. Place your tape from the center, mark 3 inches. Then make sure that the wideness of the front and the wideness of the back is exactly the same. You can see that, right? Now for the depth of the back neckline, we'll go in by 1.5 inches, connect it to the shoulder line, and this is what we have. The next thing you want to do, place your tape rule from the shoulder line, the highest point of your shoulder line, okay? We'll go in by 24 inches. We'll mark 24 inches right there, okay? Now we'll simply go to the side and mark 21 inch. The side is 21 inch while the center is 24 inches, okay? Now connect both points using your French curve so that it will give you that beautiful curve. Yes, so this is basically how to achieve the back or the part that doesn't have zipper. See how beautiful it looks. Right here I am just indicating where my belt will be, so I'll notch those areas, and I've also labeled it in case I want to make multiple pieces for sale. So this is where the belt will be seated. Guys, by the time you're done with this, please make sure that the sides of your front piece is exactly the same with that of your back piece, okay? So that you will not have to trim anything, because trimming may alter the shape of your shirt. So that's that. So guys, this is what we have. The necks are equal, the sides are equal. The next thing we want to do is to cut the cape. Now to cut the cape, open up the front piece and also open up the back piece. We are going to stitch them up together if you're cutting on your fabric directly, but if you're cutting on a pattern paper, please use a sellotape or a pin to hold the shoulder of the front piece and the back pieces together. Cutting the cape is actually very easy. Open your zipper allowance, take your tape rule, place it from the neckline of the front piece all the way to the back and then to the front. Please, while doing this, make sure your cape does not get to your zipper allowance, okay? So after measuring, whatever you have would be the length for your cape. So after measuring, I got 22 inches. 22 inches plus sewing allowance of 1 inch, as 23 inches. So I'll mark 23 inches on my paper and then I'll roll across or cut out. After cutting out, the length of the cape is 23 inches while the wideness is about 12 inches. When you fold it, you have 6 inches. Now the original length for the cape we want is 5 inches, but we added stitching allowance and that gave us 6 inches. Now to create the slant on your cape, place your tape from the edge of your cape, go in by 2 inches, okay? Connect that 2 inches to the top of your cape and then use your ruler to connect. So after connecting, you have this slant-ish effect. Yeah, this is that slanty effect that the cape had. So I'm just going to cut out. Now you can now take this and fix it on your neckline. The part where you slanted is the down, while the place where you did not slant is the top. So the place you took out 2 inches from is the down of the cape. All right, so fix this on your neckline and you're good to go. See you in my next tutorial, guys.